next morning, court is in session. Keith is charged with damaging his neighbor's property. Well over 2,500 cases like his pass through this court system each year.
Okay, Red Lake Tribal Court is now in session this date, February 2nd, 1990. Judge Wanda Lyons presiding. Defendant is charged by this complaint with the offense of criminal damage to property, section 509.06.
Keith, do you wish to see counsel to have someone represent you before you enter into a plea?
Yes.
Everyone here is on a first-name basis. The judge, the public defender, and the accused. They are neighbors, maybe even related. It's a court where friends and enemies face each other.
Someone represent you before you enter into a plea?
Yes.
Okay. And in that case, what the court will do, we'll appoint Joe Dudley to represent you. We'll give you time in which to go over the complaint and court situation.
Marlis King sees only favoritism in that courtroom. She says her family isn't popular on the reservation. She says she did not get a fair trial.
It seems like you have to be related to somebody up there in order to get help, or in order for them to believe you. The only witnesses I had were my mother and my sister, and they said that family would lie for family, so...
We were not allowed to shoot a jury trial in action, just these shots prior to one. That's how the courtroom works. No one has a law degree. One lawyer and one Crown prosecutor handle all the cases. The jury is chosen from the small community. They hear all the gossip surrounding the case. They bring to court an automatic bias.
Well, we hope that our people are neutral to begin with, you know. We really try, and that's one of the things we really strive for.
Judge Peggy Troyer was brought in to clean up the system. She's Chippewa. She's practiced state law for 10 years. The band believes that outside experience can balance the scales of justice.
We're not really a whole lot different than the state court systems are in terms of the kinds of laws and procedures and so forth that we have. We're probably less, we probably have less in terms of written rules and regulations, and a lot of times things will happen and no one knows how to handle it, you know, and they haven't had the legal training, so they may not know, you know, how do you protect someone's civil rights in a given instance.
Ojibwe Times editor Bruce Grace thinks he has the answer. He used to be head judge at Red Lake until the chief fired him. He says he wouldn't follow the chief's orders.
I talked to him about some criminal cases where I was given a dictatorial mandate to do his deed.
Occasionally I had to deal by phone, but I let them initiate the calls.
It's a Chippewa custom. The chief has absolute power over judge, lawyer, and jury. This power is his right. It's not to be interfered with.
Because if you let two attorneys come in here, they could cook up something between them two. Come in here and start sabotaging the tribunal. And also, they would implant all kinds of false propaganda. There'd be a bunch of demagogues and so forth, very showing the tribe will be so disorganized, frustrated. I say, well, so what? The hell with it.
What you need to understand that there's 147 tribal courts in the United States today. In 146 of these.
But for Jourdain, it's not a question of civil rights, it's a question of sovereignty. He says that the minute that you allow outside lawyers on the reservation who know nothing about the community or its customs, then the system falls apart. So to ensure that they don't come on the reservation, Jourdain has passed a law. If you don't have a passport signed by him, then you don't come on his land.
They're trespassing on the Red Lake tribal lands. He said, I'm a government official, I can go any place you go. Well, get the hell off of this reservation. You can go as you damn please there.
So how would one go about to making a tribal justice system work?
It would have to be independent, just like any other sovereign government. You have to have the checks and balances. Either they have elected judges who are independent, who are held accountable for what they do. It's plain and simple. But as long as you got Jourdain and his council appointing judges and telling them what to do, there's no justice there.
Or guilty. She was denied something she would have gotten anywhere else, the right to choose her own defense.
I feel that my rights are being, you know, abused.
More on this story now in our studio with Jim Compton. It seems to me that inasmuch, Jim, as the Aboriginal Justice Inquiry is looking into this very issue here now, your piece exposed some potential hazards that might be out there.
With the tribal justice system. One is political interference by the chief or the chairman, and into the court system.
Is the reserve system in this country such that those same problems could exist here, unless the inquiry or unless federal legislation?
You can do it, and federal legislation is one way where you would say to the chiefs, okay, it has to be separate. We're going to pass federal legislation which would take that power away from you and have a separate system where the judge and the judiciary is elected. The other way is to say to the chiefs, you're liberal-minded people, pass a band council resolution under your own powers and make it separate. It has to be elected and mandated and independent.
Okay. Chief Jourdain in Red Lake seemed to have a whole lot of problem with the idea of outside attorney. Tribal justice systems allow that. Have they collapsed in the manner that Jourdain says they would?
No, they haven't, but see, the outside lawyers, I think, are a moot point, because these other 146 reservations allow them, yes, but the people, most of them are unemployed, and if you want an outside lawyer, you have to pay for it yourself. And so most of these people can't afford one anyway, so it's basically a moot point.
Yeah. Okay, final quick question. Marlis King, you left her in jail. Has she got any recourse?
She's got no recourse. People that sentenced her. So basically, there is no appeal in the tribal justice system, which is another problem, I guess.
Okay, Jim, good piece. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Mike.
How do you